I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully, it's disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little girl, them. And I'ma tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset. Good evening, good people. It is I, the Maze Madman. I am here with my guy,
the Maniac,
and of course,
Kinetic.
We got a dope show, exciting show for you guys tonight. We're gonna be talking some Michigan portal stuff. Then we got a special guest joining us tonight from the voice of college football, Oregon, to preview that matchup with that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. We're going to get into all of that. And of course, be sure to hit the like button on your way in. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure to do that. And if you want to become a member, it's a great Christmas gift. You can give these memberships out to your grandmother, your mother, anybody. Become a member. Shout out to that. Savage Con 8. Mikey Keene. Yeah, we're going to get into that just a sec. Mikey Keene is Michigan's newest quarterback. Fellas, how we feeling about it?
I feel good, man. Kinetic, talk to us.
Well, I know after earlier today, Madman is feeling pretty good about Mikey Keene. But no, I mean, so listen. I mean, I would have preferred Daquan Finn. I would have preferred Caden Salter, but I don't think Mikey Keene's a bad pickup. A lot of people are being negative about this pickup, and I don't understand it. He's better than Bradley Edwards or whatever, Billy Edwards, the guy from Maryland. He's basically less experienced Miller Moss, like Miller Moss light. Okay. Same style of quarterback. He's familiar with Chip Lindsey's system. Played under him at UCF. He's got a good completion percentage, which is what we need. So he's not only going to be able to be that bridge to Bryce, but he's also going to be able to help Bryce adapt to Chip Lindsey's system, which is exactly what we need. I don't think we need to be getting negative about it.
100% agree with you, Kinetic. Everything you said was spot on. Unfortunately, our fan base I don't know what they expect. They expect us to get Patrick Mahomes from the NFL. I don't know who they expecting. Guys, remember, come on. Remember, we're trying to get a quarterback that is good, right? Solid, better than average, a veteran, and someone that can hand the keys to Bryce. Remember, guys, Mikey Keene is not here to be the starter for the 12 games, right? That's not the case here. And like Kinetic mentioned, remember, he's familiar with the Chip Lindsey system. So that's someone that can help Bryce understand this even quicker. So, you got to look at the positives. People, I noticed, gentlemen, that a lot of our fans, they star chasing. They want the best at every single position. That doesn't equate to success. Ohio State is the perfect example. We just need a veteran who's good. Mind you, this guy threw for almost 6,000 yards in the last 2 seasons. Well, over 40-something touchdowns. So we're not asking him to put those kind of numbers in Michigan because, again, we are run first, but we're going to air it out. Just someone that, again, they could get Underwood comfortable, get him experience. And before you know it, man, I want to say maybe within the first 4 games, hopefully we see Bryce as the starter. And again, like I mentioned about Billy Edwards, and you're right, Kinetic, I was good with that pick if we would have got him because it's very similar. And I think, yes, Keene does have a higher ceiling than Billy does. So I think that is an upgrade from that. So, and if Bryce has happened to get injured, gentlemen, guess what? you got an experienced quarterback waiting in the fold right there to come in that is familiar with the system. So you saw what happened. We rotated 3 quarterbacks this season, and it just looked atrocious. So, guys, be thankful. We got a veteran, someone who's not there's going to waste his years, 1 year of eligibility to pretty much ride the pine. So relax, guys. Be happy.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo what these guys are saying. I think it is just about being a bridge, being a solid bridge, and somebody that's familiar with Chip Lindsey's offense, as Kinetic brought up. That is an important part. I think a lot of people were excited about the prospect of getting DeQuan Finn. I was one of those people, so I understand it from that point being disappointed. He seems to be a little more dynamic. That said, Keene just completed coming off a season where he completed 70% of his passes. Now, granted, the touchdown to interception ratio this year wasn't the best. I think he threw 18 interceptions, something like 11 interceptions, only 18 touchdowns. You want to see that be a little better than it was this season. But also, he was playing at Fresno State. No shot to Fresno State, but it's not the most conducive environment for extraordinary numbers this season. But I digress. We got who we got. We move on, right? We'll come back. We'll spin the block on the transfer portal because there's a lot more to talk about. But we do have a special guest tonight from Voice of College Football, Oregon. Without any further ado, Ben, how you feeling?
I'm doing great. And how are you all doing tonight?
We're
Good,
doing
man.
man.
We're great, man. We're just know we're Oregon fans for the next week, so please make it proud.
There are a lot of teams like that, even former Pac-12 schools who are like, why do we hate Oregon? We should hate Ohio State this week. Or next week. Like,
I mean, some of us have been on that the whole season, so
well, that's true. I mean,
But I would say, Ben, a lot of our fan base is not too fond of the Ducks this season. They really don't like the attitude of Dan Lanning. For one, look, I'm gonna say this. I've been the one that didn't when he scored that touchdown at the end. Madman could attest to it. I didn't care. I was okay with it. Did I think it was kind of Bush League? Yeah, but I understand. Listen, this is his first season in the Big Ten Conference, and excuse my language. He's like, I don't give a bleep. I want to send a message. We here to stay. So listen, it's all good, man. At the end of the day, y'all could talk. You guys are undefeated, so I'm not mad.
Then Dan Lanning's thing is, he's going to do what he does. And I think when you looked at some of the tiebreakers at that point in the season, it was point differential. So he was like, I'm going to put up some extra points just in case. I think that's a lot of kind of what it was too. He was also thinking about that because he's a very smart man. Obviously, you've never seen the NCAA change an in-season rule within a week, like they did after the Ohio State game.
Welcome to playing against Ohio State. When you beat them, there's always some reason, some excuse, and they're going to cry to somebody to get some rule or law passed.
Ryan Day was like crying like 3 weeks later, asking for a review. Big Ten's like, it's done, dude. Like, go away.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I mean, that you saw him trying to get a law passed to make it a felony with putting a flag in the stadium, right? That's what they do. That's what they do.
I do appreciate it. I will shout out Ohio State fans, though, for the Tennessee game one. Besides the fact that Ohio State actually played ball, the Ohio State fans chanting, "We want Oregon." We made it. We're the top now. When you have the fan base chanting, "We want," it's not "We want Bama," we want Oregon.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see my guy DK is in there. Zero Cool, of course. We got a couple Buckeye fans, including this one. Posh, she's a Buckeye fan. She's a regular on the show. We actually absolutely love Posh. She says the Wolverines lit a fire under the Buckeyes, and she's here for it. Shout out to that. I want to ask you, Ben, your time in the Big Ten this year has been a very a good one for you guys to this point, right? Undefeated regular season, win the Big Ten championship your first year in the Big Ten. I will be honest. I have to be transparent here. I hated your coach immediately following the Michigan game. I was not in the same boat as my guy Maniac. I thought it was Bush League. I got some time now to calm down. I feel better about him now. I also, before the Big Ten championship, was calling your coach, James Franklin, Diet James Franklin, because last season he had 2 shots at Washington. He failed at both of them. And before the Ohio State game, hadn't really won a big game, but he beat Ohio State the first time around. He won the Big Ten championship, beating another highly ranked Big Ten team in Penn State. He beat the defending champs on their field this season in Ann Arbor. So I have removed the Diet James Franklin tag from Dan Lanning. Right now, he looks like the best coach in the conference, as much as that pains me to say. What do you feel about year one in the Big Ten from your perspective?
Well, that's it. I think we're still all adjusting to it, obviously, and we haven't played everyone in the Big Ten. Next year's schedule came out, and we're playing a bunch of different teams like Iowa and Rutgers. But this year or so was a big transition phase to kind of get used to it, because we're used to the Pac-12. So I've been watching a lot of other Pac-12 schools do their thing, like Arizona State winning the Big 12 and stuff. And so it's been interesting, to say the least. Did I think we'd go 13-0 and win the conference? No. I think we all were like 10-2, 11-1. Probably play for the championship. Do we win it? I don't know. But to go undefeated, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. You have to give, I think, like you just said, I have even more respect for Dan Lanning and that coaching staff right now, because they fought through some dire times the first part of the season against another playoff team, Boise State of all people, when our O-line was in shambles. That Wisconsin game to come out 16-13 on the 8th straight game on the road. That takes a lot of grit for a team and the coaching staff to get a game plan together and motivate the guys. So it's been fun. I mean, obviously, no losses, so I'm not going to have any complaints, obviously.
Well, and Wisconsin's one of those teams that it's always a tough game to go to Wisconsin for some reason. It doesn't matter, even when their team is bad. For whatever reason, it's just a hard place to win on the road.
Oh yeah, it was the game. It was one of the 4 games we circled that was like, this one might get dicey, because it was right before the final bye week, so the 8th straight game, and on the road at night. We were like, that one's going to be interesting, and it was definitely interesting. I mean, to say the least.
Yeah.
Well, and I think like, I like to say, 2 things can be true at once. I don't really care for Dan Lanning, but I do acknowledge that he's a good coach. And for a long time, we all have our main team, our team that we're diehard for. But there's also other teams, secondary teams, that we allow ourselves to like, that aren't rivals, that aren't in our conference or whatever, And I'll be honest, I've kind of been not a fan of the Ducks, but I've liked the Ducks for quite a while. I lived in Tennessee during the time when you guys had Marcus Mariota, and you guys went to and played Ohio State, right? And so from that, and then to see Tennessee draft Mariota, and I actually got to see him in person quite a few times when I was down there. I got a pretty good appreciation for the Ducks. So when you guys joined, I was excited, because I was like, this is a cool team that we get to play more often. It's going to be great games. Don't care for Dan Lanning as a person, but I admit he's a really good coach, and I've enjoyed the Ducks being in the conference because for years it's felt like there was this like weird alliance between Ohio State and Michigan State against us, and it feels like since Oregon came in that Oregon's kind of been that enemy of my enemy is my ally type thing with a lot of us. So. I've enjoyed you guys' fan base as well this year. So
I think that's fair too, because naturally I think there's a somehow a rivalry with Oregon and Ohio State naturally, because the fact that Ohio State, we were like 0-9 against them, and now we're 2-0 against them, and maybe 3-0 against them, specifically against Ryan Day. One of those being
pattern there.
One of those being in the shoe with a Mario Cristobal, Anthony Brown led team.
Shot.
Yeah,
I see you. I hear that.
Yeah. Before you go, Maniac, we got to get this super chat out the way. Shout out to my guy Mello, who is also a Buckeye fan. And be sure to check out his channel, The Buckeye Boys. He and Dev do great work over there. But he says, belt to January 1st, OH Natty season. But he's not finished. Another $2 chat, Bucks by $1 billion. Shout out to B Moses. By the way, for those who don't know, B Moses is also a Buckeye fan. He raps. He made a little song actually the week of the Michigan game. It did not turn out well. Now they've just repurposed the song for it. So, but shout out to them. Go ahead, Maniac.
Yeah, so Ben, listen, we know that obviously who's your next opponent. This would be round 2, right? With Ohio State. Give me the first game, right? The first game was a classic, man. I mean, everybody was watching, no matter who was your team. Where you think you guys are today, opposed to what you was back in October when you played Ohio State?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I was when I was thinking about that earlier in the day, I got back and I saw that Ryan Day and Dan Lanning did their Rose Bowl interviews today, their Zoom call interviews or whatever, and both of them were asked those questions, and I have to fully agree with them. And the same thing. That was, fairly, basically early October. What the team is now, both teams are completely different teams in the sense of how they've evolved, changed, opened the playbook more, and diversified defensively as well as offensively. Because, even that first game, Ohio State got shell-shocked because they were like, well, we've never seen Oregon do this. Taking those deep shots, burning their corners. They're like, they haven't shown that on tape.
He's all burnt.
What is going on? But now it's changed even more where now they're opening up and pulling out more of those kind of unique plays where a lot of games, I think they played very generically, probably like Ohio State has to in some of their games where they don't have to worry. They can out-talent a team. So they don't have to pull out anything special. So I think that there's a lot of work that both these coaching staffs have to do to preview. And luckily, Oregon's had an extra, week and a half to survey both teams, Tennessee and Ohio State, up to this point before figuring out it was Ohio State, to really look at those things and come up with a little bit of a bigger game plan. Yeah. So it is a benefit to have that extra week. But yeah, both teams are very different, I think. Overall.
So what do you think going into the game this weekend? How do you see the game being different? Like how do you see Oregon approaching it differently? We're preparing for Ohio State to come at them differently. Like what do you see compared to the last game?
Well, I was definitely impressed this last game with Tennessee that Ohio State's O-line held up, and that was been their weak point this season. So I don't know if that was just Tennessee or if their O-line has actually improved, because I think Oregon's going to attack it. Because outside of a couple runs, Oregon held that run game in check from Henderson and Judkins. They held it in check outside a couple of big runs. So,
right. And that was before they had a couple linemen go down with injury, I think.
Yeah, and we didn't have Jordan Birch on the D line in that game either. And now he's back. So I think kind of what Dan Lanning said earlier is like they're going to do a kind of a mix of both. They're going to see exactly what worked in that first game and then evaluate further down, especially this Tennessee game, to see what they did, how they did it differently, looking at their gap runs and how their O-linemen pulled. And they did a great job against Tennessee, but also I think Tennessee D-line, to be honest, was overrated. They were comparing it against other SEC teams, and to get blown out, I'm sorry, they got annihilated.
Yeah.
Annihilated.
Yeah. up front on both sides of the ball, really, they got dominated.
Exactly.
So one of the things that I would like to point out is that obviously you guys abused what we like to call a breakfast food item in game 1 in Denzel Burnt. I like to have my Denzel Burnt with butter and
that poor guy after that game.
His draft value plummeted.
That was beautiful.
With every completion, I think he lost 10 spots in the draft. He might be like a 4th round pick at this point. That said, you guys were able to exploit that. Tez Johnson, since coming back, and by the way, Michigan might have dodged a bullet with injuring Tez Johnson early in that game, or that score probably could have gotten a little more Shabba ranks than it was. But he is actually back healthy. Penn State could do nothing with him. Now, obviously, the other state is another animal, but I don't see them doing anything with him other than holding him, especially if Igbenoson's on him, because he's a
doesn't he have the most defensive penalties in the conference?
Yeah. I'm positive he does. And he's like he's super emotional. Did you see him? He thought he had an interception, and he damn near hyperventilated in this last game before they called it back because of like a roughing the passer. But I digress. I don't want to bash on them too much.
Okay,
but
sure.
Yeah. In the sense of attacking them through the air, do you still think that that'll be available to you? And especially with Tez Johnson back.
Well, that's the one thing, I saw a lot of people talk, especially in that title game, besides the fact that Tez racked up 181 yards, he kept going down or running out of bounds because he was trying to protect his shoulder. He just came off that injury and just got into the Washington game barely. I think they're going to let him loose, but then guess what? When it wasn't Johnson, it was Evan Stewart, who also burnt Burke in there. Now you've still got Terrence Ferguson. Our tight ends have way more receiving yards than anything Ohio State has. Even our backup tight end has way more receiving yards than our next tight end in Sadiq, who hurdled the Penn State defender on the opening touchdown drive. They have unlimited weapons. So if you want to double team Tez Johnson, you have still Trayshawn Holden, as long as he doesn't spit in someone's face again.
Yeah, hopefully not.
You guys love that. Don't even give me that. You guys were like, "Damn boy, let's go."
Oh man,
dumb move. I don't promote that, but I defensively, you have to pick your poison. Do you double Tez Johnson or do you man to man? Maybe they're going to go just straight zone, but then Dylan Gabriel can pick you apart at the same time because our line's held up very well and they're healthy. And we might even get Bedford back because now he can save his medical red shirt for next year and still play. So there's just another solid, what was supposed to be a starter that can come in and play. And then you got James in the backfield. So,
real quick, my guy Dom had this question earlier, and I forgot to ask it. He says, do you have any concern of biased officiating, as was the case in game 1? Obviously, OSU favored.
No, because this is also going to be that was a Big Ten crew, and I don't know it was necessarily biased in some ways. I think the crew made mistakes equally across the board. The Big Ten officiating has not been great this year. I was like, man, did you hire the Pac-12 officiating? Like the whole board of Pac-12 refs from last year?
So that's where they are.
Yeah, I think half of them went to the Big 12 and half of them went to the Big 10. I think that's actually what I've heard officially. But no, this is going to be, I don't know who's going to officiate this. Is this going to be like an SEC crew or is this going to be a Big 12 crew?
Maybe. It has to be a neutral.
It's going to be a neutral crew. I don't know who it will be, but it will be a neutral crew. So I don't think they care because it's 2 Big 10 teams.
Right.
So they don't care.
Well, actually, you just could bring a Big Ten crew for that game. Ben, so I want to ask this, right? We know offensively, of all the teams in the playoffs right now, I believe y'all the most balanced and deadliest offense. I think Ohio State is number 2. Just because what Dylan Gabriel could do, right, with his feet, he's more athletic than Will Howard. I mean, he can make all the throws. Oregon can attack you from everywhere in the field, right? And more importantly, you guys have a great running game as well, right? So y'all don't have to lean on the passing game 50 times. We know that. My question is your defense, right? We seen your defense in the first game give up over 30 points. And then the last time we saw your defense on the field, they gave up over 30 points as well to a Penn State team who doesn't have a phenomenal offense. Now, everything changes game by game, but you did see Ohio State offense look phenomenal last week. Are you concerned regarding, for your defense going up against this Ohio State offense again? Do you expect them to be a high scoring game, or you think your defense shut them down to under 20?
Oh no, I think you nailed it. I'm expecting another kind of high 30s type of shootout. I'm expecting that. I think Oregon, like a lot of teams, when they play Ohio State, they kind of go bend, don't break. That's kind of the philosophy, is just don't let them go over the top. Don't let them torch you, basically, kind of thing. They're going to play man-to-man on the back. I know they are with Jabbar Muhammad and stuff like that, but I think a lot of it's going to be underneath zone so that they don't get just totally burnt. I expect a high-scoring game, to be honest. I think it's going to be played fairly similarly on both sides, because I think that's it. Both sides can't stop each other. Will Howard still is mobile. He's not as shifty or as fast as Dylan Gabriel, but he's still mobile. He can run, so you have to account for that. And so that's why I think it will be the same thing. I'm going high 30s, somewhere in there. It's going to be a close game, I think, again.
No doubt.
Yeah. How much? So I know back last spring when we took Tony Alford from Ohio State, they turned around and got your guys' running backs coach. Do you think that plays, like, does that have any effect on y'all's games against them, the one earlier this season or this one? And if so, how, where do you think that it's going to help them, if any?
I don't really think it is going to change a whole lot. I mean, we got Derek Harmon, as you guys know, from Michigan State, and we have the guy Caldwell. They just fill up the center. They fill up the middle. I mean, so our edges got to play well and just secure the edges. I don't think it really changes a whole lot, to be honest.
Mello says hibachi if you play man to man. Here's the thing. I think that win against Tennessee has really given these guys a lot of confidence because this fan base, and I'm not sure if you follow it, Ben, this fan base was absolutely in the toilet after that Michigan game. They wanted everybody.
All but a few of them were in hiding. They were in witness protection.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
2 weeks.
And now they win a game, and it's like they are, the anointed again.
Insufferable.
But I think part of that. Listen, Josh Heupel's not a great coach. I've said all year that I like Tennessee, and that's in large part because of Nico and James Pierce. But I've said before that I'm not a Josh Heupel fan. I don't think he's a great coach. I think his system is very unique, but he's not a great coach. And I think part of that was on display with their defensive scheme. You can look back at what Michigan did 2 weeks ago to them with having almost a non-existent offense. We ran a lot, almost primarily, but not exclusively, a lot of match zone, and bracketed their, Jeremiah Smith and shut down a lot of their passing game. Tennessee comes in, watches that, has 2 weeks to prepare, and comes in and plays man all game. Like, come on. I don't expect Dan Lanning and Oregon to come out and play man all game long.
No.
That's why I said they might play singular man here or there, but they're going to mix a zone in there because they know that they will eventually, like, they might go 2 or 3 good plays and then they're going to get torched on a couple of them. They know that, so they're not going to be dumb about it.
Yeah. I think turnovers is going to be huge in this game, right? I mean, we don't need to worry about whether you guys are playing and, UCLA, the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. So the weather's gonna be beautiful, so there won't be no excuses here. I just the only what I'm intrigued about this matchup is that how is Ohio State's how your defense is gonna come out, right? You got a lot of tape. You got to look at that Michigan tape. And Dan Lanning is a defensive mind, right? Remember, he was the DC for Georgia in that national championship run they had. And because Ohio State is a finesse offense, right? This is not a team that's gonna physically wear you out. No, they want to score fast and often. They want to score boom, 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 touchdown, boom, 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 touchdown. As long as you guys can limit that and make them work for it, you guys should be fine. But they're gonna make plays. They just a very good offense. They got just too many weapons. Same thing like Oregon. You're just not gonna shut down that offense. You guys are gonna make plays, man. I'm very intrigued, man. But I'm eager to see your defense, man. I wonder. I think Dan Lanning, he better have them ready, man, because I think y'all gonna see the best Ohio State team.
I think it will too. And you said a great thing there is, look at the Michigan game. Yeah, exactly. Dan Lanning is looking at that. Then him and Josh Lupo are looking at that tape and going, what can we do similar to that? Obviously not directly mimic that type of run defense, or because the run defense has been spotty, to say the least. Every team plays each other differently. And I think I said it on our other show last night on the Voice of College Football, on our Sunday show, is like, every team plays differently. And one thing I think that Oregon kind of has maybe an advantage this year in the sense of the Big Ten is no one's familiar with playing us. People in the Big Ten don't play Oregon much. I mean, we played Wisconsin more than anyone in the last, 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl. But even that's a long time ago, different staffs, everything like that. So there's a lack of familiarity. That's why you see these other teams play each other really close, like Ohio State, Penn State. Whereas then Oregon, Penn State have a shootout in the Big Ten title. It looks like a Pac-12 game.
Yeah.
So it's just a lack of familiarity, I think. But the run defense is going to be interesting, and Dan Lanning, he'll have it all sorted out defensively. I think that's the big thing. He'll have it figured out.
No doubt. I know we probably had you longer than we were supposed to now. But before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to give your score prediction if you have one. And also, Dom, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, thank you for stopping by, Ben. Stop the OSU run, put the game in Bonehead Howard's hands. Oregon wins by 14 to 17 points. Shout out to Dom.
Well, that is true. I mean, just like it was mentioned, it's the team that limits the mistakes. Because that first game, everyone says it was 1 point. Well, Oregon didn't get that interception they should have had on that first drive, touchdown drive by Iowa State. Oregon missed a wide open fourth down for a touchdown. Both teams, I think, missed a field goal. That would have been a whole different type of game potentially. I think it's going to be close. I mean, of course, I'm going to lean on Oregon, but I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it will be like 38-35.
Yeah.
It's going to be about a field goal game. One team makes one too many mistakes kind of thing, or penalties.
Yeah.
Who's your prediction to get the game ball from Oregon, assuming Oregon wins?
Ooh, I'm going to have to – God, that's a tough – do I have a coin here? It's either going to be probably – I'm going to guess it's going to be Dylan Gabriel. Yeah. Because I would say Tez Johnson potentially, but I think Ohio State's going to double him a lot. They're going to try to really take him away. So I think it'll be Gabriel for being the, just the straight point guard and dispersing that ball everywhere that he can. So,
yeah, no doubt. And shout out to this. I mean, if you have them kick field goals, your chances go up exponentially.
We've had our own kicking struggles over the years, so we've had some heartbreakers from missed field goals.
Yeah. So out of curiosity,
no, I'm glad.
I mentioned earlier that I used to really watch and follow Mariota. How would you rank Dylan Gabriel in the Oregon quarterback? Specifically, I want to know how you compare him to Mariota, but where would you rank him at?
I would rank him below Bo Nix, below Mariota. I think Mariota is still. I mean, he's definitely by far the most explosive quarterback that Oregon's had since like Dennis Dixon, and that obviously didn't end well with an ACL. But Darren Thomas was still an amazing quarterback.
So, do you think Gabriel's top 3 or top 5?
I'd say let's just say in the last like 30 years. I'd say he's definitely in the top like 5 or 6, like efficiency wise, at least at this point. Now, if he goes on to win a natty, then I think you're going to have to like bump him up at least a couple spots just because of that type of accomplishment. But we'll see.
Yeah, no, and one last thing, I'm glad you brought that part up, Ben, regarding the 1 point, because man, these Ohio State fans is like with this, the 1 point, is like, listen, Oregon left a lot of points on the field as well, right? Like you said, you guys missed the field goal, you botched the extra point that they almost returned back, right? But y'all stopped them. You on a 4th and goal, he had a wide open receiver in the corner. Dylan Gabriel missed him wide open, right? Plus that interception on the first drive. I don't know why your coaching staff was thinking, right? Not challenging that, which led to an Ohio State touchdown. So if they want to play that game, then Oregon could play that game as well. I think if everything, you guys should have won at least by 10. But it's a different game, man. I'm not going to give my prediction now. I'll give it next Monday, the week of the game. But just know, quack, quack, quack over here.
No doubt, man. I think
I think most of the Big Ten are Oregon fans right now. They're just like, stop those.
Except for Michigan State. That's where you're going to see, like I said, that weird alliance.
The team staying at home this postseason? Shut up. No,
right. I mean, and look where they got their current head coach from. So
I know.
Crazy.
Or Oregon State.
Ben, tell everybody where they can find you, what you got going on, man.
Well, yeah, you can always find me over on the Voice of College Football, the Oregon channel, and for post games, weekly shows, pre games too, and then you can find us on the main channel, the Voice of College Football, Sunday nights for the After Dark show, where we just talk national news and kind of just hang out and chill. And yeah, that's primarily where I'm at these days.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you for coming up. We got to get you back maybe after you beat that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. That'll be great. But yeah, man, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Have a good evening, my brother.
You too. Hopefully we bring you joy on New
Year's. Please.
Ben from Voice of College Football, ladies and gentlemen. Great talk with Ben. He sounds confident that Oregon's going to get this done. We feel confident that Oregon's going to get this done. I have extended an invitation to Mello to come up and join us. He said, give him a sec and he'll be right here. But until then, how you guys feeling, man? What do you think about that matchup? Oregon and the other state.
Yeah, it's a heavyweight matchup, gentlemen. Let's be clear, man. It's going to be the most watched game in the quarterfinals, without a doubt. Everybody's going to be tuning in. So, all right, hold on, man. I'm going to cut it short because my man Mello, he that fellow in the building.
Y'all can hear me?
What's going on?
We hear you loud and clear, champ.
What's good, man? You got some tough fitteds. I hate that it's got that emblem on though. But
yeah, crazy. Come on, man! Stop playing with me, man. This is what I do, champ.
I don't like the shirt. But tough.
I see you. Now you be having some slick shit on too. I see you.
I'm rocking this for the Rose Bowl. You heard?
Hey, so if we make it 5 in a row next year, then you need to grab one of those and wear one on screen.
No,
right?
I'll never. That'll never happen.
Hey,
But I
before
heard
we
y'all
get into it,
talking, y'all acted like we didn't leave points on the board. On that last drive, JJ was wide open, 20 yards. Will missed him.
Mello, hold on.
We
We're gonna get
game
there. We're
all
gonna get
day.
there. It's about to go down.
Yeah, yeah.
Before we get there, shout out to Keegan for the $49.99 super chat. Go Blue Boys. Wanted to show my support for the channel, everything that y'all do. Keegan, we appreciate it.
Keegan.
Honestly, trying to bring you guys the best content we possibly can. And now, here we go. We just had an Oregon guy on, Ben. Mello, I reached out earlier in the hour chat. I thought I was too late. I probably was too late to ask you to come do this actually anyway. But you're here now. You guys got a big win over Tennessee. I thought that was a dominant win. You guys really showed what $20 million can do. The roster showed up for you guys. I mean, I'm not even joking. It sounds like a
How
joke.
much you
I'm not
think
joking.
Tennessee's roster costs if they're paying Nico $8 million?
I mean, I'm sure it's up there. Again, I wasn't saying that in a joking way. I was just, just saying that the roster came together for you guys in a big way. Dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, really. What were your thoughts on that game going in, and then as it turned out?
Be honest with you, I thought that the game was on the O-line. Like, if we were going to win that game, it was going to come down to the O-line. I was confident in our defense. They don't have weapons on the outside like that. I wasn't worried about their run game and Samson because I feel like the best running backs are in the Big Ten to begin with, honestly. Their defensive line was a concern. And the main concern, to be honest, besides the O-line, was were the coaches going to call the game correctly for our strengths and not try to have pride and show that they were tougher than the other team, because that's exactly what happened in the team up north game. Ryan Day was trying to make a point. He thought that the talent was so great that he was going to be able to just out tough the team up north and win the game running straight at the two best D tackles in the country, period. Those are literally the two best D tackles in the country. Mason Graham is the number one defensive tackle, and there's not another Mason Graham coming up at the Rose Bowl. Now, Harmon is good, but we're used to Harmon from Michigan State. Also, also the only fumble we ever had from the running back position was in that game, and it was from Q, who ended up having surgery on his hand anyway right after. So he was playing with a broken hand to begin with. That game was definitely entertaining. 7 lead changes. We didn't have the right defensive game plan. They gave too much space to those wide receivers. They didn't disrupt their route and their timing with Dylan. They only rushed 4. You had they weren't ready for the hurry up offense, but they prepared for that against Tennessee. As you can see, Tennessee runs the same hurry up offense, so you're not getting them with that again. And I guarantee you they're not going to leave the DBs on the island. And they're going to press man them more than likely. They probably have Iggy press and Bell because he likes to get hands on. But if you press and Bell with him, he's not going to get those PIs. He had 0 PIs in the Tennessee game. And they're going to stunt, which they did nothing of that. They're going to blitz. The linebackers are night and day from that game. It's not going to be the same game. Defensively, I think they're going to have trouble. I watched Penn State give them all they can handle, and Jordan Birch was there. I don't think Jordan Birch is better than Josiah Stewart, Abdul Carter, or Pierce from Tennessee. So it is what it is. We about to find out, though. They about to find out. And Ohio State finally is going to play the game that they should have been playing the whole season, which is we're going to throw it all over you to open up the run. And if you notice what Chip does, he'll run the same motions pre-snap and run the ball. Then all of a sudden he'll throw off that, or vice versa. So the linebackers are constantly in conflict. And when you have athletes like we do, you have to account for it regardless. So you're going to show your hand on what you're doing, and you get a linebacker, running back with these linebackers on them, they're going to eat them. But I am expecting Oregon to make adjustments as well, but it's also hard to beat the same team twice in one season, especially elite team. So that's my view on it.
No doubt.
I mean, you're right, but I think that. So so the beating someone twice in a season, like we see it all the time, how hard that is in the NFL. We don't see it a lot in college because how often prior to this year, the last couple of years, have we had the opportunity to see a team play the same team twice 2 or 3 times in a season. But I think in college it's a little bit different because, like to what Ben was saying, neither the Ohio State or Oregon that going into this game are the same teams that played each other earlier in the season.
Absolutely.
So in the NFL, the teams kind of stay static. The team you see early in the season, unless it's a whole bunch of injuries, is pretty much the same team you see later in the season. So I don't think that's as big of a factor in college.
Yeah. So Melo,
I would say to just a quick rebuttal is going to take 2 seconds. And that I don't think they are the same teams. I feel like Oregon's a worse team now than when we played them, and we're a better team, like straight up. And if you look at the All 22 film, it'll show you that. Go ahead.
All right. No, so right, just to debunk this, the Ohio State should have passed it on Michigan.
They tried.
A lot of Ohio State, I don't know if people realize, Will Howard threw the ball 33 times against Michigan. Do you know that was his second highest attempts? His first was against Oregon, 36. So the most he threw was 36 against Oregon, 3 less against Michigan. I think people have to understand something. Yes, I get it. Your strength is your receivers and your passing game. But people need to give credit to Michigan as well. It wasn't just our running, our defensive line, man. Our secondary played a hell of a game because you guys have, to me, and it's not, is the truth, the best receiving corps. I think Oregon does have a say, but I just think having Jeremiah Smith is kind of what puts y'all over the top. Right, because I think Tez, he might be better than Abuka, but they both great nonetheless. The point is this: coming into this game, whoever's the most balanced, you got to run the ball. Every team that won in the first round won the Russian game. Every team. The quarterfinals would be no different. You can't be a one-trick pony and win the Natty. You guys can't. The last time you won the Natty, you had a guy by the name of Ezekiel Elliott, right? He was hit. That was probably the best 3-game run I've seen in a long time from a running back. So I think we need to put a rest to that. Oh, yeah, we should have threw it more. You want him to throw 40 times? He threw it 33 times and had 2 interceptions.
Let me tell you something. First off, throwing the ball is just throwing the ball. It's the routes and the plays you call. And then you have to realize everybody on the Ohio State side knows Will Howard shouldn't have been back in the game. But I'm not going to put out the dirty laundry. He was injured from that hit. He was not the same player. He shouldn't have went back in the game to begin with. So that's where I'm going to leave it at that. And we can stay right there. But not every play call that's passing means that's the right play call. Now, if you watch how they did Tennessee, exactly what they did, go watch the game, how they did the pre-snap motion, and they were running the same pre-snap motion and running different type of plays, different gap schemes. They did less zone blocking in that game because our offensive line is not good at zone blocking. They're elite at gap blocking. So they did that. They ran different types of counters off of it, different types of counter passing, different RPOs off of it, and it puts the defense in stress, especially when you spacing them out. And our wide receivers are elite at blocking. So when that's all I'm saying, it's not you need to pass more or you need to pass, and not run. No, our team is designed to pass the ball because it's going to stretch the defense and make the box lighter to run the ball. Your guys are run the ball to pass the ball because you're elite at run blocking already off the rip. So that's what I'm saying with passing and the type of plays that they're going to play. And you're going to see it on January 1st. I'm telling you, these dudes are locked in.
Yeah.
Right. About to be reminded about why they were picked preseason.
Look at Melo sounding like a ball knower. No, I'm joking, man. That was actually a pretty good analysis. By the way, Marmar, we see you backstage. I see you. This is not the fan time though. But if you want to stay back there, we'll bring you up later on. We went from the Oregon guy. Now we got the Ohio State guy. We'll get to you, I promise. And we're not trying to have. It's not a battle between us and Melo tonight or anybody else.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He's not Garrison from last night, man. Yo, Melo, go check out that Johnny show last night. Yeah.
I saw a little bit in it. Y'all were trying to jump my boy.
Yeah. No, listen, this is what I would say, Melo. Look, man. Shout to Garrison. He's my guy. Of course, you know, this shit is never nothing personal. And that was the good thing about it. No one gave personal attacks. We kept it football, which that's what it's supposed to be. But man, yo, Garrison, he just different, bro. He at least you more reasonable. You more understanding.
He was different.
He just can't. But I know that's part of it. He likes to get the Michigan fans going. I know how it is. I'm a maniac, so I'm going to get riled up regardless because I just don't like Ohio State, so I'm going to talk my shit. But anyway, shout to Johnny. Shout to that show. Shout to Garrison, everybody who else was in there. But anyway, because this is about you, Melo. We do thank you for coming on. So we want to pick your brain more. Let me
block
see.
This dude. Block homie right here, bro. Ship him back to the hood. Show ass up.
Yeah. Come on, man. There's always a clown, man.
Always. Is DK still in here? Hey, block homie right there. Man.
Let me get DK. Take DK off the leash. So anyway, I want to ask Melo. So Melo. So you think? So now, let's also take into account, man. Oregon is an elite offense as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
They the best offense. You see, even if you beat them, they're probably going to be the best offense you're going to see in the playoffs and regular season. I think, to me, I mean, you can let me know. Your defensive line is going to dictate this game on how it's going to go. Your front seven, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think Jim knows he's going to a lot of mixing it up, or he's going to stay aggressive and attack Dylan Gabriel with many blitzes and scheme, zone blitzes and stuff like that?
I think he's going to mix it up, but he's definitely going to attack initially. I think exactly what you've seen from the Tennessee game, he's going to play the exact same way. And he's going to keep the safeties deep, and he's going to dare them to run the ball. And then once they shut down the run, if our offense is clicking like it was against Tennessee, you're going to have to throw the ball. It's going to be obviously throwing situations. So that's what I think the game plan is going to be, but we'll see. But I guarantee you, they watched that game so many times, they schemed up some other stuff. This isn't the team up north where it's psychological at this point against you guys. They see that uniform and they start pissing down their legs.
It's psychological, but it's also scheme too. It's also scheme too. Like I mentioned earlier, we played a lot of zone match, and Tennessee came out and man the entire game. You can't expect Oregon to come out and play man on you the entire game. So it is some psychological aspect to it, but it's also scheme. Wink came out with a scheme that was, 1,000 times better than what Tennessee gave you guys. And you got to expect a better defensive
a lot of
scheme
people
from Oregon.
Wanted to mimic and replicate what you guys did to us, but they don't have the same players. So you can't take an exact scheme some other team used and just implement it on your team and think it's going to work the same. And
so do you think that Oregon has the horses to do what we did defensively?
Not at the corner position.
We were running Amir Hall and Zeke Berry out of position at corner.
Yeah,
Jair Hill and Will Johnson were both out. So
I understand that, but like
he'll play.
No, he didn't. No, did he?
Yeah. He'll play.
I think he was the
second pass interference was on Hill, on Jeremiah, which he pushed off Hill. Mommy at 35, he played.
He didn't start because they started Hall and
no, he didn't start. He didn't start, but he played. It was Amir Hall and Zeke Berry in the corners.
And Zeke Berry's a converted safety that was playing nickel up until the week before the Ohio State game.
Sonny Styles was a converted safety that's playing linebacker. That doesn't mean anything. If you could play football, you could play ball.
But I'm just saying, like, we weren't playing like our top corners.
Obviously, Will Johnson didn't play.
Right.
But he didn't play the whole season either. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if they play any sort of man, they're getting torched.
Yeah. But that's for anybody. Listen, let's be clear, man. We college football fans before we're fans of a team, and you gotta mix it up. Yeah, I mean, you could get away with it here and there, but if you play a majority of the game, Ohio State would expose you because those receivers. See, that's what Don Brown did as well, right? A lot of people forget that he ran too much man-to-man press coverage, man. We didn't have them dogs in the secondary. You guys y'all always had elite receivers, and it was, you talk about hibachi, bro, that was hibachi plus what Dwayne Haskins did to us that one season, and then y'all did in 2019 with Justin Fields. So, that's that. I mean, do you think this is going to be a high-scoring game, Melo, or you think it's
the two offenses are just too good, bro? Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
Look, as much as I hate to admit it, I think Oregon is due for a loss, right? They the only undefeated team all season. Hopefully this is not the game they lose, but I'm
gonna be in the stands, so I'm gonna make sure it's the game they lose.
I'm being real. I think, and this is crazy. This is crazy what I'm about to say. Your kicker, as much as he been caca-doodle,
he been terrible.
I think he's gonna be the hero this game. I think he's gonna be the hero.
This is kind of funny because I hope you're right, but I hope you're wrong. I hope we don't need him because I do not trust him. How do you have the number one men's soccer team in the country right down the hall from you, and you don't go get one of those boys and drop $50K on them for NIL? They're the left.
Oh, they do. I didn't know. I didn't know Oregon had bro. Ohio State. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's all they got in Columbus is like what, hockey, soccer, and football.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it doesn't. But how he'll become
down too, because that's where I heard that
he'll become a legend if he's the reason y'all beat Oregon. So I mean, he's due for it. As much as he's been inconsistent, of course. If I'm an Ohio State fan, I'm like, please don't put it on his leg. But bro, he's due. He's due for it though. He's due to hit one. So
I'm gonna take your word on that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe him. He's got to give me something to believe in, bro.
One of the things
have been bad since 2022.
Yeah. One of the things I think Michigan did well against you guys that I think a team like Oregon should try to do, if nothing else, like Kinetic brought up a little earlier with how Michigan was playing defense, and Johnny's bringing up here, is not allowing the explosive plays, trying to being disciplined and not allowing that, and doing things to not allow that, right? Like shading JJ and stuff like that. Obviously, Ibuka and Carnell Tate are both capable of creating explosive plays, but for the most part, you don't want Jeremiah Smith down the field. So what do you think about that? And do you think that they have
to do that last time? I don't think we had an exorbitant amount of explosives last game. Right. I think we were driving up and down the field. And honestly, that game was kind of sloppy if you really think about it. There was a good amount of penalties, a lot of drop balls. It was pretty sloppy. So we'll see. Yeah. I think it's going to be different at a neutral site. So as you know, my co-host went to that game and he flat out told me, he like, dude, because we didn't believe that. We're like, man, the big house, Penn State, nothing's going to be louder than that. LSU, even though we don't play there. But then I looked it up, and decibel level, they're the loudest stadium in the country. And Dev was like, bro, I couldn't talk to my girlfriend next to me and hear her. My brain was literally shaking. I was in the crowd. And if you watch one of the possessions, they had 2 false starts to kill the drive. And we ended up punting. And Will Howard at the end of the game admitted, like, yeah, that crowd was a factor.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, man, we're not gonna keep you too long. We appreciate you for giving us this much of your time tonight. Of course, you always welcome here on the channel. By the way, we got to get you and Dev back. Maybe if when you guys lose this game, don't be running.
We're going deep out
we
there.
Get them on. Man, how about we get them on the week of the game, Monday, man?
Yeah.
What day is that?
That's the 30th. The 30th next month. Y'all play on the 1st Wednesday. Y'all play next Wednesday, the 5 o'clock. So we see maybe Monday.
I'm gonna holler at him because we fly out on the 31st.
Okay. Also, he's going to the game.
Me, him, Brad, Kenyatta Jackson Jr.'s dad. We all going.
Yeah. So y'all going? Oh, dope. That's gonna be a hell of an experience, man.
I know the last time you were looking at tickets for the Big Ten championship game, you didn't go through and purchase those, did you?
No, thank God, bro.
All right.
Bro, I swear I was like this close, and we would have lost money because as soon as they found out we weren't in it, the ticket prices just plummeted.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I was so glad. I told my cousin, I'm glad we didn't get that.
Hey Mello, sure. So we keep hearing all this talk about the teams that are currently still in the playoffs, that there's players waiting to jump into the portal afterwards. Name the one player that you are the most nervous about
on our team
after your playoff run is done, whether it's this next game or the Natty. Which player concerns you the most? Not necessarily that you think will.
I haven't really heard any smoke, to be honest with you. If there is smoke, it's been kept tight. But if I had to guess, first off, I was very disappointed Air jumped in. I didn't see that one coming, so that one definitely caught me off guard. I feel like Air could have beat out Julian. Honestly, I know a lot of people don't believe that, but I've seen Air play in high school, and his competition was way better. And Chip already came out and said Air had the strongest arm in the room. So didn't like that he left. If I had to guess, I probably think maybe a receiver might leave, but hope not.
Yeah. I mean,
it won't be one of the stars. So, but they're all elite. So, I mean, you lose one, you're still losing somebody that could be significant.
It'd be
like just got the tight end, right? You guys got the tight end for Purdue, right?
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, man, listen.
So since we said that, I'm hoping they find a bigger role for Jelani. They're gonna have to keep him because we're losing the other two. So Jelani played with Air, and I'm telling you, Jelani looked like a wide receiver at 6'7", 270 pounds, bro.
Is there a bigger portal need for you guys?
What's that?
Is there a bigger portal need besides kicker this offseason?
Oh yeah, offensive line. We need some more depth at DN, and safety room got thin with Jaden Bonsu hitting the portal. So those three positions are must hit.
No doubt. All right, man. Let the people know where they can find you. What you got going on?
Yeah, you can find us at the Buckeye Boys on YouTube, and the next live, we're not sure yet because Dev has some family stuff. I need to ask Brett if he's trying to do a live tomorrow, but we're definitely going to be live out from Cali, and we're going to be having some parents and stuff. It's going to get
nice. Which day, Mello, so I could tune in?
Out in Cali is probably going to be the 31st.
All right,
and we're going to go live on the 1st as well. So,
all right, copy.
Out there. I appreciate you two brothers, man.
Dope, man.
Yes,
thank you for coming through, man.
On IG, by the way.
Nah, we appreciate you, Mello. Even though
I be talking crazy, man. That's what the M's for. It's not for the team up north. It's for Maniac.
You know it, baby.
Yes.
No doubt. All right, man.
Yeah. Nah, definitely, man. That's my man, Mello, guys. I get it. We hate that team, man. We really do. But Mello's a good dude. Shout to Dev. Like I said, there's only like 10 good Ohio State fans. Shout to Posh. Posh is one of them. She's a sweetheart. She's always here showing us love and very respectful. Win, loss, she's there. So I respect that. And the way the rivalry's supposed to be, man. But do we got that chat, man? I know people want to come here and get in the kitchen. Let them get in the kitchen. Yo, Mama.
What up, though, my guys?
What's good, man?
Yo, Mama, talk to me, man. What you doing? Call of Duty 8? You playing right now?
I watched the Green Bay game, man. I wanted them to lose.
Yo, listen. Y'all play my 49ers next Monday. Y'all better take it easy on us, bro.
Hey, yo, hold on real quick. Hold on. Because Treppa is trolling at a legendary level in the chat.
Let him talk.
Shout out to Treppa.
Let him talk.
We actually are gonna have Alabama guest on later in the week. So don't worry. We definitely are worried about Michigan.
Tell Treppa to get in the kitchen. Come in the kitchen, Treppa. Because you know what happened to your man Garrison last night? We folded him like laundry on Sunday. And that other dude, that other Ohio State fan, whatever he talking about,
Hey,
Ryan Day got the recipe. Oh
he
my
got the
goodness.
blueprint.
The
Hey, he got the
blueprint.
blueprint. He got the blueprint from Jay-Z.
Yeah. He bought somebody said, yeah, he bought the blueprint from Walmart. And because I don't know what blueprint he's talking about. So
Hey, these
listen,
Ohio State fans are really, man, they came out of the woodwork, you know what I'm saying? They came out of the woodshed after that game. They thought Tennessee was Michigan.
yeah.
Right.
So Mama, let me ask you, what's your thoughts on Michigan landing Mikey Keene?
I mean, this is my thing on Mikey Keene. He already played under he already played at the Chip Lindsey at UCF. Um, he knows he knows his offense or what he wants to be done on the field. So all you gotta do is
Facts,
come in.
Antoine.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah, yeah. All you gotta do is come in and you know, teach Bryce Underwood it. I think that's why they got him over Finn or what's his name, Finn?
Yeah, DeQuan Finn.
Yeah. They chose him over the Quan Finn because the relationship King has with Chip Lindsey. And another thing that's eerie, I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen, but I don't know if Chip Lindsey was the coach at Troy at the time, but he recruited Ted Johnson.
He was the head coach at Troy when.
Yeah, he recruited Ted Johnson. Y'all better watch out for that one too. I'm not saying it can happen, but it can happen.
Yo, don't play with my feelings, Mama. Don't do that.
No, I'm saying.
I know.
I'm just saying because when we talk about college football, we always talking about relationships that these kids are building with these coaches because of stability. You know what I'm saying? These kids, most of these kids are coming to these schools, don't have that stability that come from. Some do, but not all of them. And they choose to go play football to escape, that. So when they sit down with these coaches and are being recruited and then they build these relationships, nobody thought Ted Johnson will go to Troy and then transfer, go to Oregon to have a season. I mean, that man having a season. And he's going to expose Ohio State again. He is so good in space. What they going to do with that? Because like y'all said, Tennessee wasn't, Tennessee didn't test them corners of Ohio State. Ohio State got to sit down on these routes.
Yeah.
So,
no doubt.
Keegan, he's not going to get Tez Johnson to jump in the portal, but he can identify similar type receivers like that guy that we're looking at right now. What's his name? Bell out of UConn.
Yeah.
So guys like that, he can identify them.
No doubt. We got Keegan and now Steven has joined.
My boy Steven.
What's good?
Last night.
Keegan and Steve, yeah. Steve was also in the kitchen.
I saw Steven get a little out of character last night.
That was awesome.
It was.
That was straight off.
That was cinematic. Steve was good, man.
I had my yogurt tonight. So I had my Greek yogurt and my granola, so I'm good.
There we go. Good.
Steven, man, you cooked those guys bad.
3 different sizes.
Oh man, well, I mean, I really don't. I'm not like a lot of Michigan fans. I just don't like Ohio fans. I mean, my mom is from Dayton, Ohio. I can't. I try to be civil.
Shout out to Dayton.
They're literally the worst fan base in all of sports. I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about all sports. I just don't like those guys. I don't like. It's one that I like. His name is Flodnit. He's on Twitter. Everybody else,
there's a handful of good ones. So let's not say just with the blanket, but the majority of them, yes.
Well, I say I'm not you. I haven't had your experiences. So coming out of my mouth, I don't rock with them. You can do what you want to do, but as for me in my house, we don't rock with them. I just, and it what's funny to me is that all of a sudden Ryan Day is the best coach ever. I just got through watching the replay of the Michigan O State game.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see if they, because as we saw against Tennessee, when they get out to a lead, it's different. I want to see when booties get tight, when the game is close, when somebody's matching you blow for blow. What are you going to do? How good is Ryan Day? Because it's easy when you're up 21-28-0. It's easy. You saw when Tennessee made it 21-10, Ryan Day, his face got a little bit red. And he was like, okay, well, it is what it is. Oregon, if they go up 14-0, 17-7, or 13-10, whatever, let's see how great Ryan Day, like the guy said last night, Ryan Day's the coach of the future. He got the blueprint. Okay, I want to see it. When they play Oregon, let me see. I don't want to see third base day. I want to see the Ryan Day that it was there 2019 when they had all them guys. They had I forgot the defensive Chase Young, all them guys. I want to see Ryan Day dominate. If Oregon goes out there and puts it on them boys, they are going to fall apart. They're going to be right back to putting his address online, saying it. But so let me see this Ryan Day that y'all, this great coach that they talking about. I want to see him. That's all.
No, Steve, you 100% correct, man, regarding the OSU fan base. I say there's only like 6 of them, but I feel you. It's an atrocious fan base. It's a cocky, obnoxious, very arrogant. They just think they better than everybody. When they lose to Michigan wasn't better than them. They just lost the game because of this. It's always an excuse. But when they win, they just so great and they just so better than everybody. And you guys are just hating and y'all just mad because y'all playing Alabama. Well, I told Ohio State fans, I've been saying it because I love cooking them. They haven't won shit in over 10 years. Clemson and the 2020 COVID season. They haven't won the Big Ten championship since then. Michigan stopped them 4 years in a row from accomplishing that. And we won the Natty in the process. Y'all haven't won anything, guys. So why are you in this chat talking about, but who you playing? Bro, we knew that a month ago. So it's not the flex you think it is. Coming into the Ohio State game, we knew Michigan wasn't going to be in the playoffs. But you lost to this team. What? Davis Warren? 62 yards, 2 interceptions? My goodness. $20 million, man. If I'm an Ohio State fan, I just shut up. And if you win the Natty, then you could talk. But so then, I don't care if you beat Oregon, you beat Texas, but then lose to Georgia or Notre Dame in the Natty. You have to win it all. And that's the bottom line.
No doubt.
Keegan.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, y'all give it to Melo easy.
But as far as Mikey Keene, I think what we need to do is temper expectations. They had to bring in somebody to Bryce. Okay, you're going to learn from this guy. Chip Lindsey was his OC for a little bit. 2 or 3 games, we're going to prepare you. They don't need to bring in somebody like Miller Moss, somebody who can start the whole year. You learn. Did we put Bryce in there? We ease Bryce in there. That's all so people who are mad at this, the team is going to be good around him. We don't need Mikey Keene to be doggone Chad Henne. We don't need Mikey Keene to be Jayden Daniels. We need him to just ease Bryce in there. And when Bryce is ready, Mikey willingly go to the bench, be that captain and be that leader that we need. That's what they got this guy for. They don't need a stats guy. The team is, I'm telling you, they're not going to put a scrub team out there. This team is going to be really good. So yeah, just calm down, fans. Just calm. I know I was on one last night. I had my Greek yogurt. I love Greek yogurt. I have my yogurt and my granola. I'm just calm down. Just it's going what Aaron Rodgers say? RELAX. Relax. Just relax.
I mean, Madman, you got a new appreciation for Mikey Keene, right?
I like video game Mikey Keene for sure. Video game Mikey Keene did work for me today. That said, though, like I said earlier in the show, I was kind of, I wanted DeQuan Finn just like most of the fan base did. Unfortunately, we didn't get DeQuan, but we do have to, like Steven pointed out, we got to go with what we have. Maniac pointed out earlier, it's a bridge quarterback situation, and this is probably the way of least resistance. You know what I mean? If we'd have got a Miller Moss type, then there probably would have been a different sort of controversy going on in the middle of the season. So I think this will work out the best for Michigan.
Exactly what Steve said. I said, like, guys, I get it. There's gonna be fans that's not gonna like it. It's cool, bro. But I think it's we want Bryce to be the starter in this season. Maybe not the opener, but he's just gonna be the bridge, guys, and calm down. Like Steve said, if now we got a captain on the bench, a guy with experience. This guy threw for almost 6,000 yards in the last 2 seasons, over 40 plus touchdowns. So this guy could sling it, man. We're not asking him to be the next JJ McCarthy. We're just telling him to mentor Bryce, right? Show him this, help him learn the system of Chip Lindsey. And then hopefully by week 3, week 2, whatever, week 4, Bryce takes the car to the Lambeau. And then here we go, baby.
So I heard, I think it was, I might be forgetting who it was. I was just listening to podcasts earlier. I want to say I think it was Anthony Broom, but if I'm wrong and it was someone else, I apologize. The way he broke it down makes so much sense to me. So you bring Keene in because he's familiar with the system. He's able to help mentor Bryce and get him acclimated to the system. So you start Keene because you take what he can do better than Bryce, right? And then you work in packages like Cade and JJ, highlighting what Bryce can do better. And then you work with Bryce until he can do the things that Mikey Keene does better than him. And that's when Bryce takes over.
No doubt. Real quick, shout out to Mgo Blue Brad. He says Mar, Steven, and Maniac. Manic. I don't know why people call him that. Are some of my favorite Michigan people. Shout out to Mgo Blue Brad.
I started that Manic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you definitely started that. We also just got a legend join the chat. Dom the Don is now here. What's good, sir?
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Christmas, Don.
Merry Christmas.
I tell you, Steven, I've never seen you that hot before, but I know exactly where you're coming from. It's those Ohio State people just really know how to get under one's skin. And I was telling Maniac earlier, I get Garrison's game now. It's not about statistics. It's not about making sense. He has one goal, and that is to get Michigan fans as irate as possible. And I recommend we just don't take the bait anymore because there's no reasoning with that guy. I mean, you could paint a wall red and he's going to come in and say that wall's blue and then want to tell you for an hour that wall's blue when you just painted it red. I mean, he's very talented at that. So, hey, I just have one comment for you guys. There's a lot going back and forth on Bryce Underwood and should he start or transition. My take is you guys are phenomenal talent. M3, again, I apologize for not listening to you. You told me a long time ago. I didn't believe it. The guy's a phenomenal talent. He has a good head on his shoulders. I'm all for him starting at Oklahoma and putting him in a really high-pressured, hostile environment. Who cares if we lose the game? It's early in the year. But expose the young man to that situation. If he wins, it only lifts his confidence. And if we lose, it's only going to want him to put more work in because all the kid wants to do is win. I'm excited, man.
No doubt.
He got that JJ mantra.
Hey, Zero Cool. Just I'm gonna drop down too. The blueprint that the Ryan Day had. Y'all remember Home Alone? And then he had the blueprint house and this is my house. I have to defend it. That's the blueprint they got. That's the only blueprint they got. Nothing else. They think a burning door handle gonna work. Spikes with tar on them. Like that's what they think is gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Well, Michigan, dog. Like that's the only blueprint I see. Cause
Yeah.
I don't know what them cats are smoking. I said, man, this is dog. That's the best the Old State fan base has. This is a shame, man. Like, dog, I was at work and getting mad thinking about that. I'm like, dang, them dudes really pissed me off, man. But
Yo,
it is what it is.
yo, Steve, it was funny because I had to drop off and I caught the end. You're like, listen, Johnny, I don't normally do this. Get this guy out of here.
Yeah,
Yo.
dog, with a straight
Hey,
face. He said, Ryan Day. I said, hold up. I said, come on, man. Come on, and then
hey,
Garrison
he was
couldn't even
looking
help him.
for. Hey, Steve, he was looking for an out too, bro. He was ready for somebody to tell him to leave.
This dude said, but Ohio State losing 15 starters, but they're going to be better. I said, Lord, man, I don't know what they got in that Zyle up there, but man, you lead us. That dude smoking fentanyl, man. Like, it's something wrong with them dudes, boy. Ain't no way. You can't be that high, dog. You ain't that high. I mean, I've seen you bone thugs high. Like, that's dangerous, gang. I ain't seen that since 1997, bro.
Yeah, that was funny. It was funny because you said, what is the blueprint? I like you. Who was that other Michigan fan that was on with you, Steve?
Something with a K. I don't
Michigan,
rock with
Yeah,
him.
with a K.
Michigan man with a K.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah. I like him too, man. He was cooking. And y'all both asked him, what's the blueprint? He was like, Jeremiah Smith. You say, yo, get him out of here, bro.
yeah, bro. Bro, they had CJ Stroud. They had, if you look at 2021 and 2022, Stroud threw for a combined 700 some yards, and they
Yes.
still lost. Like, you can't just throw the, but that's not the
Double
way it
digit
works.
loss.
The double digits, like, how you gonna
Right.
think? Well, Michigan's gonna bring Jair Hill back, Zeke Bear, all them cats. You think they're not gonna be like, hey, this all they got number 4? Because nobody's scared of Cornell Tate and Brandon Ennis. Like, none of them are Marvin Harrison Jr. And first of all, whoever your quarterback is has to have time to throw the ball. You get what I'm saying? And your running backs are gonna be garbage. Like the time. I mean, you got a tight end, okay, that's cute, but you lose 70% of your defense, most of your O line, your whole backfield. Like, common sense here, but now bring back Fielding, the kicker, bring him back, please. We like him. We like him. Yeah, bring him on back. Him and Dominic Zavonik and them. I mean, Dominic can teach. Like, bring him and the punter back. And as long as you got Ryan Day, I'm not worried about Michigan losing. Keep Ryan Day for what is it? Forever. Keep him, please. I love Ryan Day. But I'm gonna drop down. I gotta go do something, man. I'm gonna get with y'all, man. I appreciate
have a good evening, my brother.
Y'all too. Go
Take
blue,
care,
baby.
Merry Christmas, Steve.
Go blue, baby.
Shout out to Steve, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
Steve.
so Maze. So what is your thought on this portal thing? Do you think they going to they test and see what's in the first portal or then on the spring portal? Because ain't it like 3 different portals because of the playoff portal? Because once the playoffs, they got 5 days to go into the portal.
Right. Yeah, those
So
playoff teams do right.
do you think Michigan is trying to pick from all 3 portals?
I think they're talking.
I mean, oh god.
No. I think they're talking to some people, but
I have something to say on that.
Yeah.
So they took a mid-level quarterback right now, and we lost 2 quarterbacks, Orgy and Denegal, in the transfer portal, and then maybe they lose Davis Warren in the transfer portal. So I think it's a good play to take the San Diego State guy, Fresno State guy, and they might be looking again in the spring transfer portal because you have people that high level people that may lose their starting position. So I think that's coming down the pike.
I don't know about Davis Warren entering the transfer portal. He's kind of like one of those STIs you just can't get rid of. It just keeps, coming around. You think
Can you
it's going good,
explain
then
more?
it just pops up with an interception.
Hey, that's crazy what he just said, bro.
come on now.
Hey, say it, Maze. That was what? Hey,
Happened?
Maze, what was that?
Man, I got some
I say
AI.
Well,
what Dom just said, man. You be like, that's crazy work, man.
My bad.
That's wild.
I was trying to
No,
clip
you good?
something, so I was missing what you guys were saying. My bad.
I really don't, the portal, this portal, that portal. I no longer worry about it. It's just all hours of the day, my phone lights up and it's another update from M3 about, Ric Flair's like going off because we signed some other incredible player. We got some other incredible player coming from the transfer portal. I'm like, Mays, just keep stacking them up, man. I don't even worry about it anymore. My phone just boom, M3's got another great news for us. So keep them coming, man.
Yeah. No,
No doubt,
Michigan. I
man.
mean, it was clear. It was clear that once the season ended, that Michigan was going to be aggressive in the portal. The only problem is that Michigan fans are very impatient. They just want not like you. It's a process, bro. You want the right people, because and then why we rush? Why we got all these players right away? This coaches. All right, now you see, now you complaining, bro. Just let them cook. Let the coaching staff cook. And we'll see when it's all said and done. Spring
Yeah.
practice come, the game, we see what we got out there. And I'm telling you, man, I'm not one of those fans that just, we're gonna win the natty. But next season is playoff or bust for Michigan. We can't go to the Mickey Mouse Bowl again. We can't do that. It has to be playoff or
I'll,
bust. But I think Bryce, his second season, his sophomore season, I think Michigan is going to go into that season as the favorite. We're going to have some studs, bro. I'm telling you. It's going to get ugly that season.
You know
Believe me.
what? You know what else, Maniac? I want to tag on to that is when you have these underclassmen in big game situations that have skill and they know they have skill. Sometimes they play unconscious because it's like I'm only a freshman or a sophomore. I got years ahead of me, man, and they do these incredible things. I'm really hoping Underwood starts day one and plays in that Oklahoma game. I really hope they take advantage of that, just where he is, and put him in and let him go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think similar to what Kinetic was saying, I think it's gonna be more of a package thing, right? We're gonna see him a lot against New Mexico. I think Keene is the starter. People gonna be why relax. He might just be the starter for New Mexico. And by the second half, it might be Underwood's team by then. Who knows? The point is Michigan did it right by bringing a veteran quarterback in who knows the system, right? This is what guys got to take into account. You saw what we did with 3 quarterbacks we had, guys. Was that fun to watch this year? Let me know. Let me know.
Like I said, so the coaching staff isn't going to start Mikey Keene over Bryce if Bryce can outplay Mikey Keene. But again, he's got the experience and he knows
I don't
the
know if
system.
that's
There
true.
are gonna be things that Mikey Keene is able to do that Bryce isn't quite there yet. So you start Mikey until Bryce can do those things better.
To be fair, I don't know if Bryce goes out here and outplays Mikey Keene in camp that Mikey Keene still wouldn't start week 1.
Well, so there's a difference between practice and game. So what I'm saying is you identify what Mikey's good at and what he's, what his strengths are, right? You go into the games, even if Bryce is outplaying him in practice, you got to see it in the game. So you work Bryce in with the packages to do the things that Mikey can't. And when he starts showing that he can do the things in the games that Mikey does well, better than Mikey does it, that's when you'll see the transition.
No doubt. Shout out to my guy Struggle who says, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. Keegan, you haven't spoken a lot.
I don't think Keene can outstart Bryce. I think Bryce would start first year over him. But go ahead, Mace. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think it would have had to be somebody like Miller Moss to like legitimately get a start week 1 over Bryce Young, in my opinion, just based off of his skill level and the ceiling. But anyway, my guy Struggle says no freaking way that they brought Keene in here to start. I don't know. I can't say they didn't, but I see. I know what you're saying. Go Blue Brad, thank you again for the 199 super chat. He says Maniac is speaking facts. Hashtag preach. You know, Maniac. Maniac actually joined the live from church one time.
Yes, yes.
Shout out to that.
I forgot about that one. Of
Yo,
course, Garrison had me going, man. He took the spirit right out of me.
yo.
My
Yeah, no
goodness.
doubt,
Hey,
man.
Maze,
What
what you
up?
think about that Bryce video where they were showing him throw?
Bro,
Yo,
first, like I was telling you, I've been trying to tell y'all, man, that thing looks so good coming off his hands. Pause. Um, it's so easy. You know, he was like really just flicking that thing. It was flying like 50 yards down the field, man. I am excited to see Bryce Underwood play in that maize and blue, man. That winged helmet is gonna look great on Bryce Underwood, and I feel like
And he gonna have the
uh
visor with it.
Hey,
yeah, I feel like
can
good
I
things
bring
are
up
coming for
something?
Michigan.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
of course, Keegan.
What happened last night on Johnny's show? Y'all want to talk about that?
Oh, we could
I
go.
wasn't there. I was at a family barbecue. Now I wasn't there though,
Nah,
but go ahead.
we was there. No, Keegan. So, I mean, Johnny really doesn't really go live on Sundays. So I got the notification. I said, "Oh shit, Johnny live." I said, let me see what's going on." So he's speaking. Boy, I said, "Let me get up on there." I think Steve. He had Steve on. It's me, Steve, and Johnny. And then I think Dom came on as well. He's like, "I'm gonna bring Garrison on." I'm like, "Oh, good, good." So once Garrison got on, Keegan, you already know what happens. Like he's just a kid that comes to the neighborhood, and you know he's gonna end up fighting. Like you're just gonna want to fight him. And I mean it respectfully, not in real life. I'm just, giving an analogy when it comes to this Michigan, Ohio State. So we debate, and then of course typical Garrison, he just doesn't admit to nothing, and he just condescending, and he's saying it got so people was just tired of his shit. Then Marmar came on, Marmar was cooking, and then we was just all frying him, bro. We treated him like a Diddy party, man.
And
Nah,
That's
then
what happened.
Jason do
pause,
hey,
pause.
hey,
Pause.
hey,
Pause.
mechanic, hey, listen, manic, hey, listen.
Mechanic. Hold on.
And then Jason Derulo came in.
Oh, oh man, I felt bad for that kid, man. He just, he looked like, and respect to him, I say this respectfully in the
He
words
looked like a
of my brother
thumbprint with
here,
hair.
but he was in the room with adults, man, and he was a little kid. You're like, yo, you're not ready for this type of
Oh,
action,
is
brother.
that the blueprint man?
Yeah, the
Blueprint man.
blueprint man. Yeah, he just
Real
didn't
quick,
know.
I need to know who Dave's here is, bro. Because are you
I
a
think
Michigan
it's
fan?
Dave.
Are you
I think it's
trapped?
Dave.
Dave who?
I don't know. I just think his name is
Yeah,
Dave.
Dave's here as a Michigan fan.
Okay.
All right, it's
Um,
garbage and sets up for
what
shit. Well,
is
go ahead.
garbage? What is garbage, Dave?
Yeah. Oh, come up. Why they don't get in the link, man? I like these
You
dudes.
can also
They're
right.
very vocal in the chat. Come up and speak, man. This is what we're here for. We're the voice of the Michigan fans. We do this
The new
so you
Hey,
guys
y'all
can
got
come
all
up.
y'all
yeah.
presents wrapped for your kids?
I do
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Yo, listen,
Okay.
mom, my
I got
pockets, yo, my daughters kill my pockets. And my son. My son is 15
I
years
got I
old.
got four. I got four myself. They killed my pockets too, but it's all right though.
Yeah,
That's
nah,
got
our
this
anything,
right
job.
here.
anything
Yeah,
for my
that's the
kids,
thing. Yeah,
man.
that's what we gotta do, man. We gotta take care of them kids. I know you heard Obama. No, I'm playing.
Oh Lord.
Why'd you
Hey,
go?
He
M3.
Why'd
said
y'all
the
go so
quarterback.
easy on Mello?
Was
Yeah, so
was
Melo, because he was more reasonable, Keegan. He came in here.
Melo
He's
looked like
different.
Garrison's twin brother.
Yeah,
yeah.
and Melo, and this is what it is. Melo's more a realist than what Garrison is, and I mean, I don't listen. I don't like Ohio State fans. There's just a couple of them. Melo, I do. Melo's my man. I'm sorry if other people don't like
You
him.
did a good
That's
job, man.
between y'all. Melo
Mello
is
was
my dude.
trolling. Mello was trolling in the chat too.
Well,
Dom was good.
What I was
here's
going
my
to say is,
point, Maniac.
Yeah,
Mello and Matthew Miller are very good on the on the lives, but in the chat they troll.
Yeah,
So
but
He was
why
definitely
don't y'all give
trolling.
them the business?
yeah. No, I done gave Melo. Listen, in fact, he not gonna remember the first. I think one of the first times.
Keegan in here trying to start a riot.
Nah,
No.
No,
I
I'm
get it.
just
No,
trying to
Keegan.
bring out justice.
bring
No. He's right.
justice,
No.
right?
He's making no, Marmar.
Justice facts.
He's making a good point. Trust me,
I
Keegan.
like it.
Me, Madman, and Mello have a group chat on Instagram. I go at it with him all the time in there. I be frying them. This is easy. Frying Ohio State fans is easy to me. That's just like
Hey,
waking up
hey,
and brushing my teeth. That's easy work.
hey, man! If you was frying them like that dude Jason hairline yesterday, hey, he
Yo,
look like a
Yeah.
thumbprint with. Hey, he look like one of those little thumb puppets with a hair.
Yeah, you didn't unrelease Marmar and Steven on poor Mello.
yeah. So
Nah,
Nah,
we
I
Melo
did. I
cool,
did
man.
save Mello. You saw that? I saw Marmar was
Yeah, you
backstage the
say
whole
you
time.
sell them.
Mello
Yeah,
was
yeah, you
backstage. I mean,
say.
Marmar was
Yeah,
backstage the whole
Marmar
time.
would have got him.
Yeah, I was ready to cook him, boy. I was ready to cook him because
Yeah.
I ain't
yeah,
seen him
yeah.
in about 3 weeks either.
Yeah, but no,
Steven would have got
Melo
him
called our
too.
show immediately after the Ohio State
Okay.
Michigan game. He called up, so I give him his flowers, and
But
that's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
wasn't cooking him.
And
his twin
so did
brother
Bev.
Garrison, yeah, his twin brother Garrison jumped out of the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He like
Garrison.
Yeah, yeah. Mello
Dom
called
said,
immediately.
you could like Dom said, Garrison could dish it, but he sure can't take
No,
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody. I think
Chris
it
didn't
was.
show
Mello
up for
and his
3
co-host
days
both
either.
called right after the game.
Okay.
I
I
think
Chris,
Tay.
Chris didn't show up for 3 days either, and he showed up on Menace.
Who did?
Yeah,
It's Chris. It's 2 or 3 days.
It's
Wow.
like it's like after the Michigan game, guys. It was like hitting your house with a cockroach bomb, or you like, you know, I'm back visiting my mom and a couple mice in the basement. I think I got them all. There's another one, clean trap. And it's like this Ohio State thing. After the Michigan game, it kind of quieted, it scattered, and they got this game against Tennessee the other night, and
then boom
now boom, it's like the house is infested again, and you're
with
like, where
roaches.
one,
like bro.
but Maze, I did get Garrison, Mr. Statistician, on one. I gotta look
Like,
it up because I don't know. But I said to him, Garrison, I would venture to say that a lower ranked Michigan team has beaten a higher ranked Ohio State team more often than vice versa. I
Right.
stumped him on that one. So I want to look it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if over the years that Michigan was lesser ranked and we beat a higher ranked Ohio State team, because they love to talk about those Rich Rodriguez and Brady Hoke seasons. Were we even ranked during those years? I mean, 2006, 2016 with Harbaugh, you know, and that's all they want to talk about. It's
No,
like,
yeah,
guys, what about the Cooper years? As soon as I say,
yeah,
what about the Cooper years? Oh, Dom,
no,
you're an old man. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. So apparently the Cooper years, remember, Dom, the Cooper years, they were wearing leather helmets, according to Ohio State fans. According to Ohio State fans, they were wearing leather helmets, right? So,
Yeah.
I remember in 21, right? When we beat Ohio State. I remember I still had Twitter at that time. I remember Ohio State fans telling me, "Oh, congratulations on beating one of the worst Ohio State teams in the last." I'm like, "Yo, bro, but if y'all win, y'all would have went to the Big Ten championship." I said, "Listen, 2017, y'all lost 2 games. Y'all lost 2 games in 2017. Y'all lost to Oklahoma and y'all lost to Iowa. Iowa put like 50 something on them that year. I remember." So, see, this is what I'm talking about, the sore losing-ness of them. It's always, oh, but you beat a bad. You know how many bad teams Ohio State beat in the last 15 years? Michigan teams? I want to say at least 7, maybe more. So let's not sit here when we beat. It's always an excuse with these guys. And that's the problem. That's what I don't like. Like, they can't just submit and say, yo, y'all whooped our ass, bro. It's nothing we can say. But no.
Why would narcissists admit anything?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Mama.
Taves, you missed Steven. He was in here just not too long ago. You missed him.
Yeah, Taze was
Oh,
cooking in the chat, though.
Tays
Taze was
with the
cooking in the
hockey
chat
references.
yesterday.
Tays
Thought we
with the
had the
hockey
bag.
references.
We are
Here we
broke.
go. Yeah.
I doubt we are broke. By the way, if you believe they're broke, maybe you should donate to the collective. But
Maize and blue. Now, listen, look, I get it. Again, I'm not. I seen this already with Michigan fans years ago on Twitter. It's the same thing. In fact, we in a better position, guys. Let me ask you
We
guys in
third
the
in
chat.
we third in the
No,
recruiting
no, leave it.
rankings
No,
right
Mama.
now.
I want to ask them. I want to ask them. Who is it that you want Michigan to get in this portal that y'all so upset? Michigan's been doing fine, guys. Let me see. My man Dave. And back. So, all right, Keene is back. Who Michigan should have got, Dave? Let me just ask you. Michigan fan to Michigan fan. Who they should have gotten?
And let Dave reply.
Now, I want to hear it because
Yeah,
dudes
no,
is
I'm just
mad. They
saying
act like
we was just gonna wait until he retorted.
At talent evaluation than the coaching staff, and it's crazy. And
but
I just
then
want to say this
Keene
right now.
come in and he cook. They his number one fans. I'm telling you, I already know.
You want to criticize stuff that happens in a game, go for it. But to sit here
Right, which one, Dave? You can't sit here and say quarterback and you're not giving me names because
to sit here and crap on these 20-year-old kids that commit to Michigan to come and play for us, that's crazy, man. If any player that suits up in maize and blue is worthy of our respect, whether you like them or not. And it's so weird to me that these people want to get on social media and crap on these players that choose to come here and play with us.
You
like
also
how
have
do
to
you
wait
think
for the
that looks?
spring portal.
How do you think that looks when there's potential commits in the portal or in high school recruiting that are considering Michigan, and they hop on these streams, they hop on these videos, they hop on social media, and they see how we're treating people that are actually committing to us, and their families see it, their parents see it. How do you think that affects them? You think they're going to want to come here when they see us treating the commits like that? Come on now. Do better.
To be fair,
we're supposed to be better. We're supposed to be better than these other schools. Our fan base is supposed to be more mature and have some class. Let's not act like these other schools and sit here and crap on these kids.
To be fair and to play devil's advocate here, any let's say elite level program, I'm talking Tennessee and up. By the way, Tennessee is fringe elite. If they
used to be under Fulmer.
If they were to have a need for a quarterback or any of these other positions, and then they in the portal, we're talking about before the portal opened, how much there was talk about how much money they had to spend and all of these things, and then they go out in the portal and get a Mikey Keene. Do you think that those fan bases wouldn't be disappointed, especially when they had another quarterback, local guy, or multiple quarterbacks in the case of Michigan, that were seen to be better than a Mikey Keene level quarterback?
The only people that are getting disappointed are the ones with outsized expectations. You said from the very beginning, Maze, that it was going to be hard to get a good quarterback, a top quarterback to come here because of Bryce. You got to think these coaches, this is their job. This is what they've been doing for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. They have an entire staff here to determine who the best fit is. They interview and bring in all these kids. They talk to all these kids. They were talking to Brennan Lewis. They were talking to Daquan Finn. They were talking to Mikey Keene. And they determined, for whatever reasons that we don't have, we're not privy to, that Mikey Keene was the best fit for what they're trying to do.
I don't
Some random on Twitter doesn't know the best fit for the team better than the coaching staff.
I don't understand what the problem is.
There's a OSU fan in the chat that just put it beautifully. The portal is for filling holes. The staff has done that. They're doing a great job at it. And historically, Michigan has done that to a higher level than a lot of other schools. They don't necessarily go out and get all the top names. They get the right fits. So trust the staff to continue doing that. But to, like I said, to crap on a
I agree
20-year-old
with that,
kid
Kinetic.
that commits to our school and that
Yeah.
wants to suit up for us and put his all on that field out there, that's a bad look.
Okay, just continuing to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
In previous seasons, right, when we say we've gone into the portal and filled holes better than other programs, we were returning a lot of talent. Last year during the championship run, I think only a handful of teams returned more production on offense. All of these things, blah 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 blah. We can go down the list and run it down. The difference is it is different, right? We're not returning a bunch of defensive production. Number one. Number two, the offensive production that we had last year. Do you even want half of them to return? At least that level of production to return. So there are differences, right? In those Jim, especially the last few years with the portal, Jim and the rest of the staff were just plug and playing guys that could come in and play a role and fill a hole, as you put it, a lot easier than right now with the turnover from last year's NFL draft and other players getting in the portal unexpectedly. The team is vastly different this year than it was in those years that you're talking about, Michigan being able to fill a hole here or there in the portal.
Yeah. And I pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, Michigan tried to get a Miller Morse. He just said he didn't. He just didn't want to come here. And I'm speaking to Dave here.
Right.
Billy Edwards from Maryland. Like, Michigan is trying, Dave. Let's be clear. You can't be mad. These players, and you got to also remember, everybody's talking about the bag. Michigan's not going to overspend neither, bro. That they're not going to do that neither. I respect that.
At all.
If you are a 250K player, you're not getting $1 million, bro. You're not getting $1 million. Get out of here. You could go to you could go to North Carolina and play for them, or you can go to Louisville and let them overpay. We're not gonna do that here. We're gonna get the best of the best. So I get it. I'm not saying that Mikey Keene is a home run pick. I'm not saying that neither. I'm not saying he's elite. But when you look at it, he is a good fit. And he knows Chip Lindsey, and he's a veteran, man. The guy threw for almost 6,000 yards the last 2 seasons, over 40+ touchdowns. And look, he's just going to be the bridge, guys. Our schedule next season is nowhere near as rough as it was this season. So it's going to be all right. I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust the coaches. And you know what? If it don't work out, Dave, then I'll be right here with you cooking, my brother, blaming them for not getting the right pieces and for not making it happen.
And I'll say this. I'm not saying you can't sit here and say, hey, we haven't got the big name. I was hoping we'd have a bigger portal that, we get some bigger pieces or some more talented pieces. Go for that. But don't sit here and start saying, oh, this kid's trash, this kid's garbage, and like, there's a difference, man. You want to say that you want to see better, cool, but don't sit here and trash the individual players, the kids that are coming in here. These are 20-year-old kids. I mean, I know 20-year-old they're adults, but come on now, they're barely out of high school.
I'll say this: I get it, but as long as ain't no personal attacks, right? Like, but if they feel, you gotta remember, people opinionated. If he feel he trash, that's his opinion. He's not calling. As long as they not saying Keene is a crackhead or I hope this happens to him, then that's different. Then I
gotta start chopping this fable. I gotta start chopping this fable of Kinetic really quick, because I recall not too long ago. Kinetic having a strong opinion, taking a strong stance on let me excuse my language, on a 17-year-old kid who is now Michigan's quarterback, right? When I was taking the stance of, he's 17. You at 17 weren't nearly as mature as this, right? And by the way, a 17-year-old was ambushed in an interview by grown men who asked him a question that he just happened to be transparent and honest about in that moment. And you were unforgiving of a 17-year-old kid. Now you're asking grown people not to talk about other grown people. Make it make sense.
I'll make it make sense because I was talking about what he said in an interview. I was talking about what I seen on videos. I never said anything about him personally. And when I did make those mistakes and I was wrong, I came on here, contrary to what Burks likes to think that I don't admit when I was wrong. I came right on here and said multiple times on multiple shows, hey, I was wrong. My apologies to Bryce Underwood. I took one thing. I thought that was all there was to it. I've since seen more. I've learned. I've seen that I was wrong, and I'm admitting it and apologized to him. But my intent was never to say he was trash. I never once said he was a bad player or that he was going to be garbage on the field or that I could somehow evaluate his talent. My criticisms were off the field stuff that I saw that made me think he wasn't a good fit for the team and for the culture, and I was wrong.
Okay.
And that spring game gonna be full this next year.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be sold out.
I'm gonna be there.
Nah, it's free.
It's free. It's free.
Oh, that's Ohio State. They charge. I forgot.
Yeah.
For 2-hand touch game. Flag, right? That's what they do.
You and Madman need to come into town for the spring game.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
we
start.
definitely gonna coordinate that.
I'm gonna be at the spring game. Me and my girl gonna see that boy Bryce Underwood. You understand?
Did they say the date yet?
No,
it's gonna be in April.
It's always in April. Yeah.
Marmar, do you drive up?
Yeah, I drive up to Ann Arbor. It's only
No, I know. I'm thinking about
my girl. How long do it take you to get there?
He trying to carpool with you, Marmar. Let him talk.
Nah, they too far from each other to do that.
No. But if I fly into Dayton, I can go see family and then ride up.
Right.
Yeah. We go to night. We gonna go the night of.
So Marmar, he's asking, can he get that back seat?
No. Obviously.
Man. We Michigan fans. We carpool together.
Madman, Taser Kane mentioned something about Justice Haynes. I saw it's down to Michigan and somebody else.
Johnny said, I'll apologize when he doesn't play like trash. Shout out to that. Hey, listen, man. It's all love. And by the way, me bringing that up to Kinetic wasn't to, try to bash Kinetic. It was just to try to get the perspective of, the
yeah. No, I get where Kinetic is coming from, but you also got to remember that people are entitled to their opinions. If they feel a play is not good by saying trash, I don't think that's not we've all watched NFL football, right? And be like, he a trash receiver or he's putting his body on the line. So we can't just shun everybody. They can't be just okay. We don't want people coming to our chat walking on eggshells. We want people to be themselves, but respectfully. And now, if it's personal attacks, I'm not with that. But as far as saying this guy's trash, that's their opinion, man. So that's that.
The biggest criticism on him is that he's 5'10" or 5'11", and he threw some turnovers. He threw a pick six to Will Johnson. Come on,
the best corner.
And yeah, he had some turnovers, but it's not like he would be the first guy that was on a bad team to come to a better team and be able to correct some turnover mistakes.
Should Bryce and Travis be homies? Yo, I this is such an ignorant ass question. What do you mean? Should Bryce and Travis be homies?
Travis who?
Fucking twerp.
Travis.
I'm guessing Travis Hunter, but I don't know what you mean. But please clarify it. Make it clear for me.
Yeah.
So that I can better answer your question. Should they?
I got a question for you, Maze. Why do we keep welcoming Ben to the show like 30 minutes after?
Yeah. The banner is still up there.
Oh, welcome Ben. I just haven't taken that down. There we go.
There you go.
What's good, Keegan?
Do we know who's sitting out for the bowl game?
There's a
We
list
have
somewhere.
there's a list of people sitting out. Obviously, I think there will be no Kenneth Grant, right? There will
He haven't
be.
said anything.
So he hasn't
Yeah.
said for sure, but he's
He's not
currently not
practicing.
practicing.
Yeah.
All right. So then that's all you need to know.
There's no Edwards.
No, all Mullins.
Right.
So Andrew Gentry, Christian Bolden,
Mullins sitting out.
Cole Cabana, they're all in the transfer portal, so they're not going to be there. Donovan Edwards, he's sitting out because he's going to use the Senior Bowl as a showcase. Raheem Anderson, Tavir Dunlap, Tommy Doman have all transferred, so they're going to be out. Let me find the rest of the list. Hold on.
And Mullins, right? Mullins as well.
Yeah, Mullins is out.
KG.
And Josiah Stewart declared, but I thought he had no more eligibility. Why he's declaring?
Okay, no. So he's out of eligibility, so he's declaring because he can't come back. But
but you don't need to declare. You just go. You just go to pro. Yeah, you just go. You don't need to tell me. I know you leaving.
He's not going to be in the bowl game because he's, again, just like Donovan, he's going to use the Senior Bowl as his showcase.
All right.
Mason Graham, Colson Loveland, Will Johnson, they're not going to be playing.
No.
Kenneth Grant, it's expected that he's not going to, but he hasn't declared yet.
Wow.
So
we're going to be
we playing a skeleton crew out there.
Yo, bro, that's going to be the same 11 on offense as the same 11 on defense. Davis Warren going to play nickel.
I'm hearing.
But you're right, Antoine. Let the young players eat, man. This is a showcase game. I could really care. I mean, I want to beat Bama, but I want to see the young gunners eat in this game, so it could give me some confidence going into next season.
Okay, do we know who Alabama's offensive line is playing?
Do what?
Do we know?
I know Caden Proctor is not playing.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Milroe is playing. I think their best linebacker is playing.
Yeah, they got a bunch of people that are going to be playing. This could get real shopper ranks. I want to prepare Michigan
the offensive
fans.
line, though. The offensive line for Alabama. If we got people out on the defensive line, who's playing?
Only one player for Alabama's offensive line I know for sure is not playing, and that's Caden Proctor.
We know TJ Guy is playing. We know Derek Moore's playing.
Michigan go in that game and with their young players and do them like Oklahoma. Oklahoma didn't have shit.
There's more than just Caden Proctor that's sitting out. I can't find the list. Hold
on. Okay, Thomas, by the way, this makes more sense. As in football, Bryce seems more mature and just work out. I think I don't know, like if they'll have time before Travis goes to do his professional workouts, because I'm pretty sure he's leaving. And Bryce is actually practicing with the team right now in preparation for the bowl game because he's an early enrollee. So I don't know. I mean, maybe in the offseason those two can get together. I'm sure. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll definitely see, man. Listen, at the end of the day, as Michigan fans, we know it wasn't a pretty season. If you followed us all season, we literally did a post game right after every single game. Literally, all of them. Win, lose, it didn't matter. It did feel good to beat all our rivals, right? On Michigan State on my birthday, we had that watch party on my birthday. Shout to everybody that tuned in. And then we beat Ohio State to end the season. That was great. And now, it's about next season, preparing for next season, man. Getting the right guys, the right fits, the people who's going to come in and help the team. We don't want no divas. We don't want no selfish guys. We need Michigan men. What made Michigan great for those 3 seasons, I'm going to take this just as a bump in the road season, and hopefully we know worse than 10-2 next year.
We'll be back in Indy. Hey, this is my thing, Boxing. I just got this feeling something good coming that we ain't going to expect that it's going to come, bro. And then people going to be like, what? And then that's going to change the dynamic of how the next season going to go.
I'm going to be the wide receiver. I'm going to just tell y'all here. Once I declare,
you got left?
Yo, I got like 5 years. Yo, listen, what's my man? My man from Utah. My man from Utah. What's his name?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Bro, that That dude's been the quarterback since Peter Warwick was in
Rising.
college.
Cam Rising.
Cam Rising.
Cam Rising, bro, that dude, forget about it. He's been in there, since I think he came in with Trevor Lawrence in the same recruiting class. They said that's crazy, bro. Wow.
No
And he's
doubt.
like in his third season in the pros.
Hey,
That's
listen,
just
I gotta end this because if I don't end this now, my kids are gonna open their Christmas presents up in like paper in plastic bags from the grocery store instead of wrapping paper. So but I want to thank everybody who came through in the chat. My guy JOJ is in the chat, Antoine Johnson in the chat, Dom, everybody, DK, of course, the pit bull of the chat is in the chat.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Me and DK gonna fly into Dayton and carpool with Marmar to the spring game. It's already been decided. Keegan, who just dropped, shout out to Keegan.
Shout to Keegan, man. Shout to everybody. Steve. Shout to Johnny, of course. Marmar, my brother. Who else got up in here, man? Who else is in the chat?
Shout out to Melo. Shout out to Ben
Melo.
from Voice of College
Shout
Football.
to Ben, man. Shout to everybody, man. And we gonna have some guests next Monday as well, because that's game week. So and plus we'll also be breaking down the Michigan Alabama game, because that is also game week for us as well. We'll be playing next Tuesday at I think 1:00 or 12 p.m. So listen, man, take us out, man.
The Raiders broke a 10-game losing streak.
Dang.
Anyway,
that's why he got the Raiders hat on. I knew it was something with that Raiders hat today. Since we're talking NFL real quick, hey, my the Detroit Lions about to go to San Francisco.
Yo, Mama, chill. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Hey, Boston, listen. They just said on the ESPN ticker that 3 of your offensive linemen are out.
I know. Listen, Mama, do me a favor. Call up Campbell. Say, yo, I need you to do a favor. Take it easy on my man's team. Just go in there. Just win 17. Just win 17-7 and just get out of San Francisco. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Hey, listen. Yeah, man. Merry Christmas.
I just want a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hope. Listen, if it ain't my team, listen. My older brother is a Detroit Lion fan because of Barry Sanders.
Let's do it.
So I never had beef with the Lions. So hey, I'll be rooting for y'all in the playoffs. Believe that.
No doubt, man. DK, we definitely doing it. We gonna when we get a little closer to the date, when we get a date, we'll organize it. My guy Kinetic is already in Michigan, so he'll come down, I'm sure.
Yeah, but everyone talking about carpooling are all south of Ann Arbor. I need some people north on 75 to hit me up. Let's carpool.
Yeah, I know. Get with TJ up there, right?
Hey, when you go to the spring game, you can sit anywhere. You got to get there early though. I'm trying to sit behind the bench.
I got there.
You got to sleep outside the stadium.
We got to bring helmets, get them signed, all of that.
This last,
hey, bro, it's gonna be gig, bro. Yeah, I'm getting autographs and everything. I'm staying the whole game.
Put me in,
this last one, I got there about noon, and I was able to get a seat pretty much anywhere.
No doubt, man. Hey, look.
Did you go last year?
I keep trying to sign off. I'm trying to get out of here. My babies need their presents wrapped.
All right. We out of here.
All day. All right.
So it looked like one last thing. It looked like I see a lot of people in the chat talking about the spring game. We might have to do a little appreciation party for the spring game.
Y'all want to talk about the spring game? Join the Discord.
Join the Discord.
Yes.
Join the Discord and we'll talk about it there. We'll organize it. Anyone that wants to make it a thing, a get together at the spring game, get in the Discord. We'll figure it out there.
Gift bags, absolutely. Oh, yo, Ken, I did this last Christmas and I forgot this time. Last Christmas, I ain't wrap a thing. I put everything. I ordered these bags from Amazon. I put everything in the bags. It was just bags around the Christmas tree. I know the elders in my family hated it, but damn it, it was great for me. Anyway, till next time, Kinetic, tell them where they can find you, sir.
At Kinetic 615 on every platform. Make it easy for y'all.
No doubt. My guy, Maniac.
Right to Instagram, man. You see it up there, D_box_maniac. Hit me on Instagram, man. I know a lot of y'all boxing fans as well. Man, don't be strangers, man. And like I said, the Maniac Michigan page coming soon to a theater near you.
No doubt, man. Until next time, you know the slogan, man. Stay angry, my friends.